All right. What is going on, everyone, on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, if you're tuning in for the first time, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here and add you to this awesome network of like-minded people. And while you're at it, feel free to check out our Discord group chat. Totally free. Don't charge anything associated with this channel, of course, as all of you know. But there's about 100 of us in there, and we're always looking to grow that community. It's just awesome to bounce ideas off one another. But obviously, just to hop right into it, guys. So we had a crazy day in the market, of course. It's been an overall seesaw kind of week. You could tell the sell-off was really beginning and starting to pick up Friday. And I was kind of on edge for today. Like you guys know, I mentioned yesterday and yesterday's Sunday Stock Watch that I didn't quite think that we were going to go into a correction. I thought this was mostly just some more trade war stuff. But it's looking like it is going to transpire more into at least a little correction, if nothing else. We may not see no 10 to 20% or 15-20% type of correction, which of course 20% will indicate a bear market. I don't see anything like that happening necessarily. In all honesty, I think we're going to put in our bottom. It looks like possibly overnight tonight. We're already down 1.25%. We've been down as much as 1.5% to 2% in the overnight session already. We're down about 36 points currently on the S&P 500. We're looking at the micro right now. Of course, we'll switch back and forth between micro and the E-mini kind of here and there. But what I wanted to pay attention to was, of course, our indicators. You can see we are so massively oversold now, guys. Am I going to say that we are officially at the bottom, that right around 2,800 is the bottom? Honestly, in my opinion, yes. I think right around where we're at right now, 2,975 to 2,800 is a bottom, which I know that's a quite range. I mean, 25 points, that's a pretty heavy range. I mean, that's roughly from the micro E-mini perspective, you're talking, of course, $5 per 1 point, so you're talking $125 potential, which is a pretty big move, right? But as I was discussing in Discord, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of just average down my position, because we know every time the market does this, especially when it's dealing with trade war. Right now, it sounds like China is devaluing their currency and whatnot, so now that's the next thing that's hitting the market right now. It's all news headline right now, just like every single time, essentially, with the exception of what happened at the end of last year, which even that essentially was caused by news headlines. Everyone was piped up on the Fed, and same thing is what kind of started all of this. We were all Fed's going to cut, and it sounded more like a hawkish cut, which market, because of course, the news outlets and headlines and everything, market and everything thought, okay, we're going to have cut, and then it was, okay, we don't know, oh man, it was a hawkish Fed, boom, we fell right off the bat. Then, of course, we had a nice little bounce back. You guys know I shorted that because I figured something would happen and we would reverse. Sure enough, we did. Trump started the trade war stuff back up, and that created a new total chaotic event that obviously transitioned into today and what looks like tomorrow. Now, I think what's going on right now is, of course, some of the trade war, but as well as the whole China devaluing their currency. Before we keep on going, I just want to make sure we are up and going. Looks like we're doing okay. If the stream has any issues or anything, definitely feel free to let me know in the chat or in the comments once you see this video upload. But point being, if we go back and just look overall at ES, since you guys know I like looking at that right now, until the micro E-mini has been out for over a year, I will use ES mostly when it comes to charting and everything. But when we go back and look at the 1 year, everything is pointing towards that we are going to bounce relatively soon. I think, honestly, right around this 2,800, 2,775 to 2,800 is where we are either going to find our true bottom and bounce, and then of course probably, like I was mentioning in Discord, probably at least at the minimum retest 2950 to 3000, or if we ultimately break it down and we head, I think if we head below 2750, then all bets are off. We're probably coming back down to at least 2625, maybe even 2600 once again, which would obviously be a very, very big drop. Nothing like that we haven't seen before, but if we came clear down to 2,600, you're talking roughly a 14% decline. So definitely a pretty big correction to say the least. But then what would you do there? Do you just keep shorting? No, because more than likely, again, we thought the big one was going to happen back in December, and what still happened? We completely turned around. Market always wants to bring itself back up. So that's why, in this instance, I'm going ahead and switching to the long side. You guys know I switched to the long side a little bit on Friday. I did actually sell one of my 2 positions just to cover some profit. I held that one contract throughout the day, and then I slowly but surely just started piling up like 1 or 2 contracts here, 1 or 2 contracts there as the market continued to fall. I'm kind of going slightly against like my whole thing where I'm trying to like keep it realistic with how many contracts I'm trading and whatnot, just because I'm doing kind of more or less kind of an experiment just to see like how much money you can actually make. I'm not going to get crazy with it and use the whole 200,000 that they give you in your paper trading account or anything like that, but I'm probably going to end up with somewhere between like 10 to 20 contracts, something like that, which you guys know I say in real life you're better off just to trade ES at that point if you're going over 9 contracts. But again, it's just more so for an experiment just to see how much the commission is going to be on closing the trade, just to show you guys kind of a comparing the two. If you were to just buy 2 E-mini contracts versus 10 to 20 micro E-mini, what your profit loss would be at the same price with commissions and everything, because I think it's going to be a pretty big difference, to say the least. But we'll see kind of how it all plays out. I have a good idea, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated. The reason why I went ahead and bought these, I am slightly concerned because obviously these are going to expire here within the next month roughly. I do think overall, of course, the market's going to end up correcting itself here within the next week or so, but of course, anything can happen. We can have something like what happened all of 3rd quarter or 4th quarter last year happen where you just continue to dump, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, this is all mostly just news headline stuff that's causing us to drop. We had the reaction to the Fed that kind of kicked everything off. What was that, Wednesday, I believe, of last week? We had our little dead cat bounce Thursday, and then Friday, obviously, the trade war stuff happened, and we dropped. We continue to drop today. Looks like we're at least going to drop a little bit more tomorrow. I think tomorrow we kind of we either find our bottom or, like I said, we continue to slide. I mean, I think the most important number to watch is right around 2750. Let me get it pulled up here. Yeah, I think right around, honestly, I would like to see it hold above 2775. But if I had to say where it has to bounce, I would definitely probably say 2750 or above. So we'll kind of see what happens tomorrow overall, but I think in all honesty, it's just another buying opportunity, guys. Everything is pointing towards just massively oversold now. You can see we had the same little bounce right here. We had obviously our V form back at the end of last year, and we're starting to look very similar. We're down to a 24 now on the RSI. So, I mean, we could go a little bit lower, of course. We've had it downwards of, what, like 5 before? Not 5, like 10 to 20 before. So, I mean, we got a couple more points to move. MACD, of course, has a little bit more room to go down, too. Our DMI, which I'm still learning a bit about, is also starting to show signs of oversold pretty heavy as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, if by even the end of the week or early next week, we start to see the market pull itself back up. I'm not saying we're going to hit 3,000 again within the next week or anything. I'm just saying over time, over the period of the coming week, month, I think by the time this contract expires, essentially, we'll be back to 3,000. I don't really see it. Unless if more stuff comes out that we're not obviously able to predict, of course. But if everything kind of just continues as it normally does, month by month, year by year, I wouldn't be surprised if we're retesting 2950 to 3,000 within the next 4 weeks. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I think it's more so just everything is overblown. Obviously, you have all those algos and everything. Everyone hit sell at the same time. That's why we saw the market drop. I think the Dow was down almost 1,000 points at one point. I'm not 100% sure on that. It might be 900 is what it is roughly down, but pretty close to 1,000 points. We were down at one point on the Dow. I think S&P at one point was also down somewhere around like 120 points, 120 or 150. I don't remember. We started the day at, let's see, what was yesterday? It was the 4th, the 5th. So we started the day technically we started the day somewhere around 29.30, and we ended the day at, what was our low? Well, we ended the day right around 28.20. So, I mean, yeah, we did lose like 100 points overall in the day. I thought at one point we were down like 120 to 130, something like that. I guess I might be wrong on that because it looks like we just continued to sell. But, I mean, now we're down another 35, 40 points right now. So, again, we'll see what happens. But I'm not personally too concerned. I will tell you guys straight up, I'm down a lot on those positions, of course. But I just continue, like I said, to average down, average down, average down. And then, of course, I'll probably buy a little bit more. I doubt I will overnight. I'll probably let the overnight thing happen, and we'll see kind of where the market's at in the morning. Unless if, let me see. Yeah, I'm not really interested in buying right now. If I were to have bought, it would have been right around that 27.80 mark. 13 points, that's a huge difference. We could definitely retest that by the end of the night. If we retest this and it looks like it's going to hold sometime tonight, I'll probably go ahead and set, let me go back over to MES. They should do it at the same time, of course, but just to be clear. So I'm going to set some alerts. We will set an alert for at or below, and I'll say let me know once it gets below 27.80. That way we will at least be on alert at that point. And if it bounces around there, then I'll probably decide to go ahead and hop in just a couple more positions. I think, like I said, I'm already at like 15 or so positions or contracts. I'm in 15 contracts right now, so I'll probably just buy like 2 more or something like that. The most that I will buy is 20 because that's the whole point of the experiment is 20 contracts in MES versus 2 contracts in ES just to see the overall profit loss after your commissions, fees, all that good stuff on TD Ameritrade, just to kind of show you guys the proof of, I mean, it makes sense, but some people, they want to see the proof of everything, and I just want to show that it literally makes no sense to do more than 9 or 10 contracts. Once you hit 10, you might as well just switch over to ES for obvious reasons, but I'm still going to do that for you guys just to kind of show anyone that wants some proof, of course. Let me make sure we're still doing all right. How's it going, Mike? Looks like we got 2 of you tuning in, and if you're tuning in for the first time, be it on the stream or after the video uploads, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here. Make sure to turn that bell icon on. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And we also have that Discord group chat, of course, that's down in the description box. That is totally free to join. We still have, it seems like 1 or 2 of you join in almost on a daily basis. It's just awesome to see that community continue to grow. And I'm actually thinking about starting like some kind of podcast for you guys. Maybe not necessarily stock market totally related. We'll probably have some kind of stock market thing on there as well. But I'll talk more about that in the coming days or week or so. I'll have to get a mic, an actual good mic for that, of course. But something just more of like a financial podcast and whatnot. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely feel free to let me know. But let's go back to ES. I probably won't stay on too much longer. I know my dinner is going to be ready before long too. I just kind of wanted to hop on here because I know it was a crazy day today. I mean, this was one of our biggest down days, really in the last couple of years. Obviously, we had some big movers last year as well. 2018 was a pretty crazy year as well. Looks like we're going to continue with some volatility. Finally, we were all kind of complaining about volatility, and it seems like it's finally here and picking back up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if we're going to kind of form a new head and shoulder pattern on the weekly chart. That'll be something to kind of keep an eye out on over the next coming weeks as we transition into Q4 here in the coming month. So as you can see, I mean, that could be a well-defined shoulder, a little head starting to form. Are we going to develop another shoulder? Even if we develop another shoulder, that still proves to me that we're going to retest 2950 to 3000. So interesting next couple weeks, month or two. The next month or two is going to be pretty intense, to say the least. Another thing I want to check on real quick just before we go over is oil. Oil's obviously continuing to sell off just a little bit, nothing too crazy, but we're still hovering again. We just keep going back to it. We're hovering kind of in this. We've broken down a little bit. I'm still, me personally, I would not still touch oil. You guys know that I like playing oil and whatnot, but I mean, we're just kind of really just trading sideways. I mean, we've made a new leg down, of course, and we could continue to go down. It sounds like sentiment is that oil is going to keep going down. If I will say this, if oil gets back to 50 or below, I would short the heck out of it, because if it gets under 50, it's probably going back to 30 to 40 bucks relatively quickly, in all honesty. It's what happens time and time again. You can see we hold this 50, hold it, hold it, hold it, and as soon as we break down to 49, we just dump all the way down to almost 40 bucks. It happens almost every time when oil breaks down. We can pull up the 3-year chart maybe. I don't know how many times it's happened in the last 3 years, but let's see. You can see we were down at 40. We came up, and that's the other thing. Once it hits 40, usually we don't have this. The whole market obviously had a V. So this is a little bit of an exception, but usually when oil comes down like that too, it stays right in between 40 to 50 for a while before it ultimately decides to come back up. Last 3-year chart doesn't really show it off a lot, but if you pull up like a 20-year chart, which is easy to pull up on your TD Ameritrade app, by the way, you can see at every point where once oil goes under 50 or gets rejected. Here's a good example. It got rejected right around like 54. It came back down into the lower 40s within a period of a couple weeks, about a month or two. Not the best example, but I mean, it did happen. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, this is just more trade war fears continuing, all that good stuff. Nothing new. I mean, we've seen this time and time again, talking about ES and the Dow Jones and everything, of course. I mean, we've seen the trade war fears, what it does to the market. You can almost spot every time trade concerns have impacted the market. It usually does swing it, of course, within 5 to 15% range. It usually sends us into a short correction, but there's a lot of money to be made whenever you have these news headlines swinging the market, forcing a market sell-off, all of that good stuff. So, like I said, I think we're going to find a bottom here within the next day or so. This market has been really, really quick about deciding what it wants to do. Not wasting no time at all. Like I said, we're already down about 1.25% in the overnight session. So I think 27.75 to 2800 is our bottom for sure. But like I said, I got some alerts set on the micro E-mini futures, where if we decide to retest 2780, I will be watching it very closely. And if it looks like we're going to bounce right around that 27.75 to 27.80, I'll probably buy a few more contracts. And then we'll just hold them essentially. We got about a month. We got a month roughly for these to play out. Even if it doesn't reach my target of 29.50, which is my target where I'd be happy to sell. Even if we don't hit 29.50, say we come up and get rejected, which would not be a surprise, right around 2900. My average buy cost at that point would be somewhere right around 28.25 roughly. I'm right around 28.30 or 28.40 right now on my average buy cost. So 28.25 is definitely realistic for my average buy cost at that point. So if your average buy cost is 28.25, or say you don't even have a position right now, I wouldn't mind getting in right here. Like, you don't have to wait. I would wait personally because the market could continue to break down, of course. But even if you got in at 28.780 roughly, and you just held, but for my example, 28.25. If I'm in at 28.25 and I sell at 29.50, that is about 125 points times $5 is going to be what, 500, 625, somewhere in that range, $600 to $700 of profit per one contract. So you'll literally double your money, because to get into one of these micro E-mini futures, it costs you what, $693, probably $692 now that the market's gone down a bit. But either way, $693 to get in. You make $625 to $700 or whatever it is of profit. You're essentially doubling your money in what will honestly probably happen here within the next month. So I don't think that's a bad investment. That's why I keep harping on the whole micro E-mini futures. I think it's an amazing day trading, swing trading, short-term investing strategy that everyone should add to their portfolio, no matter what your trading style, investing style is. Um, and if your portfolio manager, whoever's managing your retirement, doesn't really do futures, then you probably need to fire him, to be honest. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Hopefully the stream's been doing okay and whatnot. Like I said, hopefully you guys are in the green. Hopefully you're managing. I know we had someone, I don't know if it was you, Mike, or if it was somebody else. Someone in our group had made, I think they're paper trading. They made like $456, either, I believe, shorting, at least on today. I believe they were shorting QQQ or something like that, and they made like 460 or 450 bucks, something like that. So that's awesome to see. Hopefully you guys are finding a way to capitalize on this market sell-off. Like we said, it's just all about the whole China trade war fears continuing, and until those kind of, at least until we have some different headline, like a Fed being dovish or something and helping us out or something, we'll probably continue to see up and down, up and down, up and down. We'll be pretty much in this range between 2,800 to 3,000 is kind of what I'm thinking. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, if you're new to the channel, hope you consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us. We'd love to have you here. And like I said, if you haven't already, be sure to check out our group chat. Like I said, it's totally free and easy to join. Just download the Discord group chat app in your phone and then just find this video. Go down to the description box, click the link. It should at least take you right to the group. And if you like the stream, definitely make sure to smash the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And if you didn't, then just hit the thumbs down. Either way, engagement is what it's all about. And if you're watching this after the video uploads, let me know in the comments how you have been doing trading, what you're trading. Do you trade futures, options, penny stocks, Bitcoin, whatever you trade? Let me know in the comments and let me know how Monday, August the 5th went for you. I don't care if it's paper trading, real money, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, whatever you use. Let me know how today went for you in the comments after this video uploads. I will definitely be in the comments chatting with you guys. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. And I will see you guys within the next couple days for another live stream or video for you guys. Take it easy.